Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We've got Shaka and Stevie here in the studio, and Frank and Ian are with us as well to answer your questions. All right, first question for Stevie. For Stevie, which game should Slot prioritise, Real Madrid or Manchester City?
I don't think you can prioritise any. You go and win the game. You know, if Arne Slot sends out Liverpool reserves against Real Madrid at Anfield in midweek, fans are not going to be happy. You know, this is a proper game. This is a game that every football player wants to play in. Certainly if you're a Liverpool player, that's for sure. And I think you just keep rolling along. You just keep winning. You put the team out and you win. And then whoever's coming next, you shouldn't even be thinking about what's coming next. No.
You know,
No. If this was a run-of-the-mill European side in the Champions League, then that's a different ball game. Because you can. You can't do that with it. You can't take any liberties with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And it's at home in the Champions League. At Anfield, no. Go win the game.
if I'm a player and Slot comes to me and says you can, pick one out of those two to play it, I'm going to say, can I play in both and rest me next week? I have no idea. I have no idea who Liverpool has after City, right? But I'm just saying, these are the games every single player wants to play in, every single week. If you could play in these big games every single week, absolutely you would. No, don't leave me out.
Okay. Ian, Vinny has shown he's a better centre-forward and left-winger than Mbappe. With Vinny's absence now, will he be able to finally contribute?
I think Mbappe definitely wants to play on the left. We saw that at the weekend when he started out there and Vinícius was in the centre. Of course, with Vinícius now going to be out for about a month, I think Mbappe is going to work from the left because I think Ancelotti knows it as well. I think we all know it, that he's more effective coming in from that angle. So maybe that's the path for him to find his form. We're certainly going to see that for the next month, and then maybe they'll look at it again once Vinícius is fit. But the two of them can interchange, can't they, as well, for 20 minutes here and then 20 minutes there and keep opposition defences guessing.
It could cause a problem as well, though. So if you're Mbappe and Vinny's out, and you play on the left, and you start scoring goals for fun, so when Vinny comes back and he says you're back in the middle, do you think Mbappe's going to go, yeah, no problem, boss? I don't think he will. I mean, be careful what you wish for, right?
Yeah.
He's Frank's mate. Frank knows him.
Yeah,
What would he say, Frank?
What would he say, Frankie?
I'm 100% with Stevie. That's going to be a big issue. If he starts scoring goals for fun, and when Vinicius comes back, yeah, there will be a big debate, and Ancelotti will have to make a decision. I don't agree with the fact that that Vinicius has showed that he's a better centre forward or left wing than Mbappe. There is a debate. I mean, I just want to recall people that Mbappe scored 3 goals in a World Cup. In a World Cup final, and he's been absolutely tremendous, except maybe the last months of Paris and now with Real Madrid where he tries to adapt. But don't underestimate Mbappe's skill. But really, yeah, that's going to be a problem. If he starts scoring goals, I'm not sure that Vinícius is going to keep his position as a left wing.
I think
But
somebody's
Ian,
going to pop it.
go on,
Somebody's
Ian.
going to pop it from Mbappe very, very shortly. I think he's going to score an avalanche of goals one day. It's suddenly going to click, I think. He's too good.
Did Ian just say that Mbappe's going to score a hat-trick on Wednesday? Is that what?
Yeah, that's what I took from
that's
that.
what he said there.
That's what I took from that too.
I don't know.
For Ian, percentage chance Pompey can survive relegation this season?
Oh, because I better explain. It's close to my heart because I was born in Portsmouth, and they're finding it hard to make the step up from the 3rd tier to the 2nd tier. I think some of the players have got L plates on at that level, so I'd like to say 50-50, but the reality is I think that it's a bit more up against it even than that.
L plates would be student driver.
Yes, for
Just for any of
the
Americans.
uninitiated. Yes, that's right.
So that was I like that. It was a nice analogy, and I liked it. For Stevie, when you as a manager move to a new club, what's the very first thing you plan to do?
Oh, I'll tell you what, there's a couple of things. Number one, which players are in charge of the dressing room? Number two, who do the players all follow? You can get those two, you crack those two things, then you can use whoever these people are for those two questions I was talking about, these players, to mould the rest, because you know the rest will follow them.
How do you find out who they all follow?
Well, because your eyes and your ears,
Right.
and you take in what's going on and how somebody talks to somebody else, and just there's, you know, you kind of give yourself a little bit of time to just sit back a little bit and just watch, and it'll come.
So if Ruben Amorim's having a little look around right now, who's he picking out?
I don't know if you noticed, but I've never been in Man United's dressing room.
Unlikely to be there, I'd say.
Nor will you
I'm sat
ever. Nor will you ever. If you were to take a guess.
If I was to take a guess, I would say Bruno Fernandes would probably be one of the ringleaders. But there's always a couple of quiet ones that a lot of them will follow. I'll give you an example.
Casemiro, I think.
Yeah,
Casemiro.
I had a player called Joey Franchino, who was so black and white in everything he did. It was incredible. And he was tough as nails, and he gave everything every day and every single game. And there was probably about half a dozen who just looked up to him big time. And he wasn't the best player on the team, but he was reliable, he was solid, and everybody looked up to him. And so what it did was, you get Joey to be in charge of things and take them all along, because you know they're going to follow him. So you start with that, and then you add all the other bits, and it hopefully comes into place.
Kay and Ian. Okay, what were your first experiences in journalism broadcasting like? Any moments that made you second guess your career path?
Quite a lot, actually, and they're still happening even today. The first commentary I ever did was on a hospital radio station on a Portsmouth match against Middlesbrough, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and it was just as well, because I probably made many mistakes, and at the end of it, happily, I found out that because of a technical fault, nobody'd heard it anyway, so I was talking to myself, which is not a bad way to carry on, really.
The reps all count, Ian. The reps all count. That's what I was always told.
Can I just jump back?
Yeah.
The one I missed, get the bad eggs out the door as fast as.
And how do you find the bad eggs?
Oh, they're the easiest one of the lot. They're the easiest one of the lot. Bad attitude, always complaining, upsetting everybody else. Get them out the door. Regardless of how good they are, get them out the door.
Get them out. See you
That's
later.
been bothering you, innit?
Just remember.
Tell me, Frank.
Kay, what about you on your experience? Was it like when you had to work with Dan Thomas in Real Madrid, or another experience where you second
It does
guess?
actually feature. It's a very embarrassing moment that happened to me early on in Spain. Before my Spanish was what it is now, I was trying to learn by reading the dailies, the Spanish sports dailies. And the headline was, who's going to be the new Pichichi? I hadn't figured out or worked out that Pichichi was the name for the top scorer. So after the game, I asked Ruud van Nistelrooy, so what do you think about the comparisons of you and Pichichi? Ruud van Nistelrooy, ever the gent, said to me, well, I think it's more about the goal scoring, you know, and then proceeded to talk about how things were going. His Spanish was obviously at a faster level than mine at that time. Afterwards, I rang Dan and Joel, our guys, back at the office in Madrid. I was like in Seville, it was a Betis game or something. And I said, hit me, who was Pichichi? And they said, well, Pichichi was prolific in his time, but he died young of typhoid. The award was named after him. I said, is the interview going out? They said, it's already gone out. We all learn from our mistakes, guys. We all learn from our mistakes. Obviously, Dan let it go by so easily and never mentioned
Of course,
it again.
I'm sure he never brought it up again.
Yes, never brought it up again. But yes,
How bad did you feel?
I felt terrible. I felt awful. It was in like the 1920s that this player had sadly died young. But the guys made me feel even worse. And I forever love Ruud van Nistelrooy for being such a gent and just letting it slide by and not picking me up on it. So, yes.
The reason I asked you, I did a game, a Revolution game, a commentary with Phil Shane.
Yep.
And I didn't know any of the players. I'd not long been in the country. And I was asked if I would be the co-commentator on this game. I thought, I had no idea what I was doing.
Oh, yeah, why not?
I thought, good, I didn't know any of the Revs players, apart from a couple. I certainly didn't know any of the opposition. And we were sitting up with the Seagulls. And I couldn't see properly, couldn't see the game properly. And there wasn't a monitor. I walked away from that with my head between my legs. I was absolutely shattered. I've never felt so stupid in all my life.
Why did you say yes?
I didn't know. I thought it was going to be like watching the TV. I thought it was going to be, you know, you could see everything clearly and there'll be monitors and the whole thing. And
Oh, no.
I mean,
No.
there was nothing. Didn't know the players, and I couldn't even. I was so high up in the clouds, I couldn't even see the numbers.
Ian is wincing hearing that. Ian, what would you have done with a co-commentator like that?
I was, honestly.
Well, I've had co-commentators like that. I mean, I won't embarrass them by mentioning their names, but once a very famous England international player was assigned to do co-commentary. Never done it before. It was a game at Millwall, a playoff game in the Championship, and he turned up quarter of an hour before the kickoff on the gantry, and he said, "Do you know any of these players?" I said, "Well, I do. I've done a bit of research on the game." He said, "Well, I don't know any of them." So I thought, this is going to be an interesting 90 minutes. So I'll spare the guys blushes who that was. But I always have this nightmare. I don't know about UK, where I'm at a football. I have this dream quite often where I'm at a football ground and I can't find the commentary box. I can't find the booth where you do the commentary. And I can hear that the game's going on, the crowd's going mad, and I'm trying to find the stairs that lead to the booth. But I never do, of course. You always wake up, don't you?
Wow.
That's a commentator's bad dream.
It is.
Finding your way to the commentary booth. Nice stuff. Okay, last question. For the panel, what's the one or more food you're really good at making? So good that it could be put on a restaurant menu.
Oh, goodness me.
Why are you laughing, Ian? I feel like you've got a sneaky dish in there, Ian.
No, I really don't. Actually, I'm embarrassed. I can't make any food that would get on a restaurant menu. I don't think. I bet Frank can, though. Frank must be good at this.
I bet Frank can.
I'm good at on scrambled eggs. I like to make them like creamy, and I'm very pretty good. And I'm the best on French crepes because I make them very thin, you know, and very natural, nothing more, but really thin. And I know how to, you know, reverse them. And I like, and it could be very good in a restaurant. Yeah.
I think we should do that. I think night out with Frank crepes for everybody. Brilliant.
But didn't you get beaten, Frank, in like a croissant making competition with one of our? Was it Alexis? No, am I misremembering?
Oh yeah, yes. No, you are right. I think it was with Robo, and Robo made them better. I never said I was good in croissant. I'm good in crepes, so I can be Robo anytime with crepes, you know.
All right. So we're clear. It's the crepes that Frank's good at.
Jesus.
Shaka?
The crepes. Crepes, yeah.
I don't know if I make anything of restaurant. My kids like my lasagna.
Okay.
But I know I'm also speaking to a woman who's married to an Italian, so I'm a little bit slow to say if my lasagna is any good.
See, Gab always says never order lasagna at a restaurant.
No,
Well, hang on. Gab doesn't let you order anything at a restaurant because he chooses for you.
I don't know. He said it'd be homemade.
I don't know if my lasagna is any good. My kids like my lasagna. My wife is a very good cook. I think that's part. My wife's a very good cook. I'm the only one who makes lasagna, so my kids like that.
Okay.
Like, let Dad cook lasagna because at least that's edible.
You know what you could do, and you can get away with? In a fancy restaurant, cheese on toast, right? Cheese on toast, cut it up in a fancy way, right?
What are you putting on top?
Cheddar cheese.
No, but then there has to be like a little garnish on
You
top.
can put a little
It's
garnish
fancy
on top.
restaurant.
Cut it into like a hexagonal shape or a triangle or something.
Can you make cheese on top?
Aye, absolutely.
You actually can?
Yeah, go to some hoity-toity.
Hang on a minute, you just put it in the toaster and then put it in the microwave with the cheese on
Aye,
top?
yeah, make the toast first. Put the cheese on, under the grill. Wait till it bubbles and then pull it out.
There's so much to unpack here, Stevie. First of all, you've gone with restaurant quality cheese on toast.
Yes.
And then you've said,
No.
cut it into a fancy shape, like a triangle.
Hey, well, what is...
Right, just cut it down in the
Would it be a
diagonal.
nice isosceles
Really
triangle?
fancy.
It'd be really fancy.
Nobody's ever thought of that before.
All these big noises.
Okay.
They come out with all the nonsense.
I'm getting hungry listening to all this.
Make it a starter.
Munchies.
It'll be a starter.
Stick on toast, Frank.
And then you'll have some toffee nose going,
Stevie.
I've never had this
Stevie.
before. This
What else
looks
have a
lovely.
3-course meal, though?
keep
Cheese
on-
on toast, lasagna, and then the crepes afterwards.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God, that was
Yeah.
bad.
But you're going to end up very
Cut
fat.
it into a fancy
You're going
shape.
to end up very, very fat.
Oh, man.
All right, Ian,
Oh, goodness me.
whose dish would you rather eat? Stevie's cheese on toast, Shaka's lasagna, or Frank's crepes?
I think we can put all three on the menu and have a real old feast tonight.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I quite fancy Frank's crepes, you know.
We call it the
He
extra
makes it
time
so thin.
restaurant.
I like. From the time he says I'm making, oh, I'm like, Frank's got me. Frank's got me there.
3 courses. I am waiting for a new account saying Stevie's cheese on toast or Shaka's lasagna.
Wait, don't try to just try to end everything now. You're in on this.
Oh, I can make loads of things. I am the cook in my house.
Well, just
I can make
just
loads of
all for
things.
one. We only asked for one. We only asked
Don't
for
get
one.
cocky.
Come on now. Come on, let's hear it.
Oh, I don't know. I do lots
Chef
of
Boisy.
That's Mateo.
Blasé, I should say.
That's Mateo. It's
Chef
not cheese on
Blasé.
toast. So it's a little bit fresher than
You
that.
cut it into fancy shape, though.
Oh, well then, fair enough. All right, we'll end it there, shall we? Thank you so much for sending
No, I'm
your
not saying, you know,
questions.
we let it go on.
Yeah.
Finish it off. We go home.
I'll
we
have a
figure
good
it out
think
ourselves.
about the array of possibilities.
Yeah.